Are you interested in medical school but would like to know more about the ins and outs of the day-to-day or even year-to-year of what your schedule would be like? Maybe you have family and friends who just want to know when they'll finally be able to call you a doctor, or would like to better understand what you do on a daily basis. If you or anyone you know wants to know a little bit more about how medical school works, then keep watching this video. Hey guys, Tiara here with Doc Girl Fitness, and today's video is all about the ins and outs of how medical school works. Let's start with a brief overview. Similarly to how long it takes to traditionally get a college degree, medical school lasts 4 years and is broken down into fall and spring semesters. Years 1 and 2 are predominantly your preclinical years, meaning they are the years that you spend almost entirely in the classroom preparing for the time when you'll be able to work with patients. Throughout this time, students mostly learn from lectures in a classroom, from cadavers in an anatomy lab, or from clinical practice exams in simulated clinical environments. Years 3 and 4 of medical school are almost entirely clinical. During this time, medical students work to find their desired medical specialty and ultimately decide on the career in which they would like to fulfill a lifelong career in medicine. They work with real patients, are a part of a medical care team, and spend a lot of time learning about how that medical care team takes care of patients and comes up with medical decisions. Now that we have a basic understanding of what all the years are like, let's take an in-depth look into each year, starting with year 1. The first semester of the first year of medical school is typically seen as the hardest of all your time in medical school. This is because during this time you will be overflooded with information at a rate that you're not really used to if you're just coming out of undergrad. This is the time where you are learning all of the basic science material at a very fast pace. This material includes subjects like biochemistry, biology, genetics, anatomy, cell biology, and much, much more. Tests are given about every 3 to 4 weeks, and they tend to cover quite a bit of information. So it's really important that during this time in medical school, students are really pacing themselves with the information, and under no circumstances should they be waiting till the very last minute to study this material for an exam. The first semester of medical school is a great way for students to find their pacing and find what study techniques work best for them that they can carry on throughout the rest of their time in medical school. At my medical school, the second semester of the first year is when the systems-based curriculum begins. In systems-based curriculum, students learn about the body based off of specific body systems. For example, at my medical school, the first system that we studied in the systems-based curriculum was the musculoskeletal system. The first few weeks of this course would be physiology-based, in which we would learn from PhD professors the physiology, pathology, and pharmacology of the musculoskeletal system. The last few weeks of the course would be taught by physicians who would teach us clinically based information. Things like how to treat a patient, what are some common musculoskeletal conditions that you will see, and so on and so forth. At my medical school, starting with that first course at the beginning of the spring semester, the rest of the semester continued on in a systems-based manner, and at the end of that semester came a very long-awaited summer. This summer break can be anywhere between 1 and 2.5 months, and during this time, students can use the opportunity to catch up on some much-needed sleep, go on a vacation with family members, or hang out with their friends, or students can use this time to build their resume and work with physicians and clinical shadowing opportunities, or they can get involved in a research opportunity. At the end of this summer, students gear up for year 2. At my medical school, year 2 was a continuation of what we started in the spring semester of year 1, which is that systems-based curriculum we talked about. Year 2 is an entirely systems-based curriculum year, but with it comes the added pressure of the beginning of your studying for your board exams. One part of becoming a board-certified physician involves taking standardized tests along the way. Throughout medical school, there are 3 standardized exams you must take before you can continue on into residency. Those are Step 1, Step 2, clinical knowledge, and Step 2, clinical skills. Step 1 is the first part of your board exams, and it is the exam that covers all of the material related to your preclinical knowledge, and it is typically taken just before you start your third year of medical school. At the end of year 2, rather than beginning a summer, students typically begin an intensive, dedicated study period in which they heavily prepare themselves for the Step 1 exam. And at the end of that dedicated study period, they go ahead and sit for the exam. Once that exam is behind you, you can go ahead and move on to year 3. Year 3 of medical school is the first clinical year of medical school. During this year, students learn from real patients in different rotations that range in length from 4 to upwards of 12 weeks and cover the major specialties in medicine. These specialties include things like family medicine, internal medicine, pediatrics, obstetrics and gynecology, surgery, neurology, and whichever electives you decide to add to your course schedule. This is the year that students really get that hands-on experience and an in-depth look into what it means to be a part of a healthcare team. Students will be working with resident physicians, attending physicians, nurses, nurse practitioners, physician assistants, pharmacists, and any other player in this multifaceted healthcare team. While learning from this team, you work like you would any other job, and sometimes that means showing up in the mornings before other people get there and staying late after everyone is gone. This time is such an excellent opportunity to learn everything you can from patients and to really apply everything that you have learned in your 2 years prior to starting your third year. In addition to learning from the patients, students then go home and study because at the end of every rotation, there are more standardized exams that must be taken. Also during this third year, students should really start to hone in on what specialty they would like to apply for residency, therefore choosing which career in medicine they would like to pursue. By the end of the third year of medical school, students should have decided which medical specialty they will be applying to for residency, and they should start expressing that interest to the physicians who work in their desired field. Then students get another break, which is also considered to be a dedicated study period. This time, students are studying for their Step 2 clinical knowledge and clinical skills exams. At my medical school, Step 2 clinical knowledge was encouraged to be taken before a fourth year was started, but the Step 2 clinical skills exam was left up to us to decide when we desired to take it. My suggestion to you will always be to take both exams before you begin your fourth year. And speaking of fourth year, let's get right into it. The fourth year of medical school is known as the best year, mostly because it's the time where students spend the most time in their desired specialty. Throughout medical school, your coursework is set in stone, and you have a set schedule of courses to take without any choice in the curriculum in the way that you would have if you were an undergrad. While you get a bit of a taste of having options in third year by being able to choose what electives you have, fourth year is the ultimate time where you get to choose your course schedule, and you can cater that schedule to your medical career interests. In the first semester of your fourth year of medical school, while you were taking these courses that you picked out, you were also spending quite a bit of time preparing your residency application. The residency application is due in mid-September, and once those are sent off, the rest of your first semester of fourth year and the beginning of your second semester of fourth year are spent going on interviews to the different programs you applied to that found interest in you. This is a busy but very fun time in which you will learn the balance between staying on top of your course curriculum and also traveling to your different sites for your interviews. Once you finish up interview season towards the beginning of your spring semester of fourth year, the rest of your fourth year is just spent anxiously awaiting the day you find out which residency program you matched at, and not too long after you find out that information, graduation day is here. After those 4 years, you have a bit of time off to relax and spend time with family before you start residency. And that's it in a nutshell. There is a lot that goes into the process, but when you're going through it, it goes by very quickly, and it is lots of fun every step of the way. I hope this video helps you better understand the ins and outs of how medical school works. And if you think this video will help other people understand the process too, then make sure to share with them. If you have any questions or comments, make sure to leave them down below in the comment section. If you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you like videos on medicine, lifestyle, and fitness, then make sure to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time.